I think I've solved the main mystery of the fourth episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. In the new episode, Caine will try to get better and make the adventures more interesting. But Caine is insane, and so in the new episode, several characters will switch bodies, making the new episode especially unusual. Let's rather break down a new theory on the fourth episode. The idea that the characters will switch bodies in the new episode is based on the strange behavior of the characters, which we can notice in the latest trailer. With the new mask, Gangle has changed beyond recognition. She has become so much more confident and independent that it suggests that it might not be Gangle in front of us. Other characters have changed as well. Jax has become considerably more somber and calm. I don't recognize him as the crazy funny guy who doesn't care about all moral and ethical boundaries, and has become a clear favorite of most viewers for his unconventionality. Ragatha behaves in a more moody and complaining manner, which is not at all characteristic of her. Ragatha usually approaches everything with confidence and has a positive attitude. She has shown herself to be determined and looking for the positives in everything. Even Zubul is behaving unnaturally. She works so calmly in the kitchen. It seems to me that Zubul has somehow accepted too easily that she will go on an adventure and work, even though she would normally uncompromisingly refuse to participate in adventures. So what has changed? According to a new theory that is gaining popularity, the characters in episode 4 swapped bodies with each other. Our loyal subscriber, Julio Cesar Camilo, wrote to us about this theory in the comments under the previous videos. According to his theory, in that scene from the trailer of the fourth episode, where Gangle looked at herself in the mirror in Zubul's room, we saw not Gangle, but Zubul in Gangle's body. In the dialogue with Gangle from the trailer, Jack says, "Why are you talking like that? What's wrong with you?"
Why are you talking like that? What's wrong with you?
Look, this phrase doesn't sound like Jax at all because it's not spoken by Jax, but by a cheering Ragatha, who got into Jax's body somehow. Also in the trailer, in one scene, Ragatha looks tired from all the work duties at Spudsy's. This is much more reminiscent of Zubul's behavior. Subscribers' theory is that the body swap could be an ability of Gangle's new mask. I have another speculation on this, I'll tell you a little later. A subscriber suggests that the body swap is most likely an attempt by Caine to solve the problems of 3 characters at once. Gangle has a big problem with controlling her emotions. Gangle's mood is constantly dependent on having a mask of joy on her face. To help Gangle overcome this dependency, Caine places her mind in the body of another character who has no emotional attachment to a very fragile object. Zubul has a problem with accepting her body. She doesn't like the fact that her body is made up of strange parts. Caine tries to solve the problem with Zubul's body dysmorphia through moving Zubul's mind into the body of the character who most resembles a real person, and whose body proportions are closest to real people, i.e., Zubul's mind ends up in Ragatha's body. At the same time, Caine is trying to solve a problem that Ragatha has. Before the release of the 5th episode, which will be devoted to revealing the character of Ragatha, the most information about her psychological problems was given to us by the pilot. Ragatha is terrified of being alone with her own thoughts, because then she can't avoid thinking that her situation is hopeless and she is doomed to stay in the digital circus forever. And these disturbing thoughts can lead to abstraction. The subscriber suggests that Ragatha suffers from PTSD, most likely one of Ragatha's close friends in Digital Circus, abstracted. The subscriber goes on to share an interesting theory that Ragatha is so afraid to abstract because she started abstracting in the past due to an unknown player or NPC who looked similar to a centipede doing bad things to her. This also explains why Ragatha is afraid of centipedes and why she tries her best to be so kind to those around her. She doesn't want anyone to start abstracting like she did in that moment. But Ragatha was able to avoid danger. She didn't fully manage to abstract herself, and Caine was able to save her at the right moment. This explains why, in the pilot, Ragatha thought Kaufmo could still be saved, even though he had managed to completely turn into a monster by then. The subscriber's theory is that Caine will put Ragatha's mind into the body of someone who has never seen the centipede character to make her feel calmer on a nervous system level. Or perhaps Caine will put Ragatha's mind into Gangle's body, so that with her new mask, she can let out her inner anger and stop holding herself back. Julio was 99.99% sure that it wouldn't improve their mental state, but it would help them form a strong bond with each other and understand each other's problems in some way. That was a very interesting theory. Thank you so much for your comment. I want to remind you that every comment with your theory has a chance to be featured in a new video. I will comment a bit on this theory. Julio did not specify whose body Gangle's mind should be in. I think Caine will put Gangle's mind in Zubul's body. On one hand, Gangle will be able to let her emotions out and will feel more confident in her new body. On the other hand, Gangle will be able to familiarize herself with Zubal's problems. Unlike the Joy Mask, which is not a necessary part of Gangle's body, losing Zubal's body parts could be a big problem. Now another question remains. How did Caine get the idea to arrange for the members of the Digital Circus to swap bodies? I think the answer to that question is given to us by a moment in the trailer where Caine flies next to a mailbox with suggestions written on it. In this box, each character has put a letter with their suggestions on what needs to be changed in the adventure and the Digital Circus in general to make it better for the rest of the players. I think all the characters will complain about their psychological issues, their body issues, and the fact that no one understands them from the rest of the Digital Circus. Since Caine is an artificial intelligence and tries to simplify and optimize all the processes, he will try to solve all the problems at once and swap the characters' bodies. This way, each character will be able to understand how the other feels. Let's summarize what's going on with the characters so far. Let's start with the characters we've learned quite a bit of information about. First up will be the main character of Digital Circus, Pomni. In the pilot, Pomni had an intense fear of everything she saw. Pomni couldn't accept the fact that she was stuck in the Digital Circus. Because of this, she was obsessed with the exit door and was constantly looking for it. As a result of the events of the pilot, Pomni began to hate the Digital Circus. On her first day, instead of a simple adventure, Pomni had to be rescued from an abstracted Kaufmo. Also, Pomni was shocked by Ragatha's glitches and was very scared that her arm started glitching too. At first, I didn't understand what those weird facial expressions on Pomni's face at the end of the pilot meant. In Tumblr, Gooseworks explained that Pomni was very angry at Caine for everything she was going through. At first, Pomni didn't trust the other people stuck in the Digital Circus. We can understand this from Pomni's dream we saw at the beginning of the second episode. In the background, we can notice the eyes of the abstracted characters in the dark. The abstraction seems to surround Pomni from all sides. The same hand that was glitchy in the pilot becomes abstracted in the dream. Obviously, this experience left a serious imprint on Pomni. When the other characters saw the abstraction in the dream, Caine just sent Pomni to the basement, and the other people didn't pay much attention. It seems odd, but with the other people reacting so calmly to the horrors going on in the Digital Circus, it can seem like no one cares about anyone else. However, in the second and third episode, the other characters prove Pomni wrong. At Kaufmo's funeral, Pomni sees how much the people in the Digital Circus actually mean to each other. In the third episode, when Pomni and Kinger are trapped by Baron Mildenhall and Pomni's body is taken over by ghosts, Pomni loses her temper and starts crying. I understood this to mean that Pomni began to regret that she had stopped thinking about how she could get out of the circus. She came to the conclusion that Caine doesn't really care about people and just wants them to suffer. It was at times like this that Ragatha and Kinger came to Pomni's rescue. In the second and third episode, Ragatha and Kinger let Pomni know that she is not alone with her fears. Pomni gets better. She thanks Ragatha for her kindness and honestly admits that being with Kinger isn't so bad at all. Over the past few episodes, Pomni has realized that there will be many challenges along the way, but her friends will always come to her aid. What do you think about that? Who will switch bodies with who in episode 4? Write your thoughts and theories in the comments, and I'll be sure to read them. The best comments will make it into the new videos. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Good luck everyone, and bye-bye.